and you, but we also have like
my two friends, Vasellia and Jerrold. Hello. So guys, what are you gonna be doing today, or like what are you gonna be teaching me?
Okay, I'm gonna teach you how to make like this really quick mussel stew thing in like a tomato broth with coconut. So it's really very quick to do, and it's very good for communal eating.
I'll be you know what's a meal without dessert, right? So I'll be making lemon cake, right? Blueberry lemon cake with some cream cheese frosting. So you can. What are you laughing? I'm laughing.
I mean, you say frosting. It's frosting, right? Okay.
The whole day he's been correcting me.
Correct your life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't cook. This is the only thing I can do.
Never mind, we'll correct his cooking technique.
Okay, sure. So what about the cake again? Blue cheese?
No, it's blue cheese.
Cheese
This
is
Oh my god, blue cheese is cake.
blue cheese.
Now you know why you eat us. Yeah.
So it's a blueberry, right?
It's a blueberry and lemon cake. Okay, it's a very simple cake. You just need to remember a few ratios, and then with the cream cheese frosting.
Sounds good, guys.
Are we ready to cook?
Yeah, I
Let's
can't
get
wait.
back to it. Okay, let's start now.
Sorry.
Okay.
Alright, so okay, today actually what I'm trying to teach Jerrold, right, is how to make a very cheap and quick dish for his friends.
Just the way I like it.
Alright, cheap and quick.
That's right.
Keywords. I'm using this Legos brand
Bolognese
sauce. It has everything in it. It's well seasoned. There's garlic and all. So all you need to do is just simmer this a while on the stove with garlic and butter. And then you can just pop in your mussels with a little bit of water. Just let it cook. Less than 10 minutes and you already have something ready to feed people. Okay, the best way to peel garlic, especially when you want it minced, is to smash it with the skin on. You can use a garlic press to mince it finely. Yeah, so you basically just stuff everything in and mince it just above your pot. With garlic, it's always good to fry it with onions so that it will not brown and burn easily. What I'm doing now is I'm actually washing the mussels. These mussels are actually farm bred ones, so they don't have the beard. You're not going to find a lot of sand in it. A fun fact about the beard is that it's there so that it protects the mussels from predators. And I also like it because I like beards. I'm sorry, that was like a freaky face. Mussels are very cheap. Like this much was only like $1.92. They are a very fun way of like having a party with your friends. One pot of mussels, just put it in the middle of the table with a loaf of French bread, and you're fine. What I've done here is I've actually like thoroughly washed the mussels. During the handling process, there might be like dirty hands and all that, so you just want to wash them to make sure that you're properly sanitized. So now we're ready to actually start cooking the tomato broth, and then we'll just pop this little fellas in, and then yeah, just season it accordingly. Shove in the butter, so you melt your butter in your pot. You don't want it to be bubbling when you add in your garlic and your chili flakes.
Yay! Oh no!
When other normal day I would have killed you, but is it kill you?
Dude, it's not coming out.
You must press harder.
Yeah, press harder.
Press harder.
Oh yeah!
Harder.
I got it!
Clumsy boy.
Okay, just keep it. Let's be honest. This is what you don't want in life. A friend who can't cook. Once it starts bubbling, you know, when you smell your garlic, then you pour in your sauce. When you pour it in, because we are cheapskate this way, we're not going to waste the sauce inside. We're going to actually put some water in it and shake it all up. So anyway, you want to use a bit of coconut milk in this because we're going to give it like a nice creamy consistency. And it's totally halal. Pour 2 tablespoons.
Oh, that's all?
Yes, just pour 2 tablespoons first. And then you check for seasoning.
Okay.
You can pour a little bit more.
A little bit more? 1 more tablespoon?
2 more.
2 more. Slice of butter.
Okay, so now I'm zesting the lemon, and this is for the lemon cake because using the artificial lemon extract is too overpowering. So the zest and the juice of one lemon would work just nice. Okay, so the reason why we roll the lemon is to get the oils out so that the flavor is more enhanced and we can capture them in the zest when we zest it. So usually you have to catch the bits when you're squeezing lemon over your hands, but due to Jerrold's clumsiness, he left the bits inside as you can see. So I'll just use a spoon and easily take them out.
I tried! So now I'm just gonna preheat the oven to 180 degrees for about 10 minutes while we prepare our items.
So Jerrold, for the lemon and blueberry cake, all you need to remember is just two numbers, okay? 150 and 2. So the 150 is the amount of butter, sugar, and flour. Okay, all these are in 150 grams. Okay. The 2 that you need is 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence.
Tablespoons,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah. And 2 eggs.
Okay,
which we'll
so
get from
2
the fridge
teaspoons
later.
and 2 eggs.
Yes. So we'll put this in. And then we'll cream them. Okay. Oh no, it's going everywhere! Oh my god.
Got it right this time.
Well done.
Thank you.
Not bad.
I know, I learned from the best. Just 2 teaspoons. Woohoo! Nice.
Okay, so now that it looks something like this, we're gonna alternate between the flour and the lemon juice. Okay, so continue whisking while I add it in.
Okay.
While whisking away, what we can do is we can take some flour and then lightly dust the blueberries in it. And so what this does is, when it's coated evenly and when we mix it into the batter later, it will not sink to the bottom. Instead, it will all be dispersed evenly in the cake batter.
Okay. Is this okay?
Yeah, this is perfect. So right now, what we can do is we will stop whisking and then move over with a spatula, and then we'll add in the blueberries and fold them in.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you preparing this for?
Okay, this is a great home chef tip. What you do is, the leftover piece, the butter on the foil, what you do is just use it to grease. Alright, so we just need a simple toothpick, put it right in the center. Alright. And take them off, and when it comes out clean, you see, no wet batter, it's all done. Alright. So in this bowl we have 125 grams of butter, alright, and that will be the half of the cream cheese, the amount of cream cheese that you use. So since we're using 250 grams of cream cheese, we'll just use 125 grams. Okay. So this is icing sugar. So we usually will use twice as much as the cream cheese, but it might be too sweet for some of us, so we'll just go by taste.
In this one, yeah, can.
So I added 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So this is also according to eyeball, so see whether the taste and the consistency.
So you put the cream cheese on top, just put the whole slab on.
Oh, it's so soft.
Yeah, it looks really soft.
Hey Ivan, we hope you enjoyed our little cooking show. Now we'll move on to the analysis of the things we covered. This video is in the form of a cooking show because cooking shows are the evolution of recipes. More than just being a set of instructions on how to cook, cooking shows provide great visuals of how a dish should look like at various stages of its inception, offering nuggets of food-related tips and most importantly, builds a rapport with viewers. However, upon further analysis, cooking shows are also reflective of three overarching themes. First, these shows present hosts that intentionally create a persona of the every person, the common cook. Bam's Emerald is a good old boy who will show regular folk how to kick it up a notch. And Rachel Ray is the girl next door who will show working class housewives how to regularly create gourmet feasts in 30 minutes for pennies a day, right? Wrong. With his doctorate from the Johnson and Wales University Culinary Program and commanding more than $25,000 per episode, Emerald Lagasse pretends a crass working class credentialism for profit. And Rachel Ray, whose television persona is the girl next door who can relate to busy working women, grew up in a wealthy family of restaurateurs. Secondly, these shows are multi-million-dollar enterprises that blur the lines between advertising and content. The Food Network is owned by Scripps Network Interactive, and the Tribune Company, whose joint holdings cover a myriad of commercial products and services promoted on the shows. While 7 to 8 minutes of each 30-minute program is comprised of an average of 15 commercials, product placement within the 22 minutes or so of content make the educative aspect of these shows suspicious. In fact, the shows are simply infomercials for the hosts' product lines and the sponsors. Emerald and Rachel each have almost incomprehensibly diverse and lucrative business interests including restaurants, magazines, food, cookware, and cookbooks, to name a few. Finally, the products featured on cooking shows are fully integrated into lifestyles of consumption and consumerism. The goal is to create lifestyle shows that will appeal to the broadest possible audience base. Moreover, the shows purport to teach audience members to be better and to cultivate more refined tastes than they currently have. They offer the identity of connoisseur as they promote the appreciation of gourmet ingredients, fresh organic foods, and specialty items. The implication for viewers is that they are somehow neglecting family and friends if they cannot provide the tasteful and superior sensation of food and home represented on the show. As such, these cooking shows carefully construct a consumer fantasy world for its viewers, with explicit advice in both advertising and programming about how the viewer can realize the commodity fantasies. We've covered the etymology of 4 food-related terms in the video itself: mince, halal, broth, and zest. Most of these terms were borrowed from the French language because France had the reputation of, among other things, being the best in food. This is a phenomenon we still see today where food places are named in French, even though they do not serve French food.
The history of blueberries is a story of Native American tradition and hospitality dating back to pre-colonial days. Known as the starberries or sautotique by the Native American because of the shape of the blossom end of each berry that forms a perfect 5-pointed star, the elders of the tribe would tell of how the Great Spirit sent these berries to relieve the children's hunger during a famine. For centuries, blueberries were gathered from the forest and the bogs by Native Americans and consumed fresh and also preserved. Parts of the blueberry plant were also used in indigenous medicine. A tea made from the leaves of the plant was thought to be good for the blood. Blueberry juice was used to treat coughs. The juice also made an excellent dye for baskets and cloth. In food preparation, dried blueberries were added to stews, soups, and meats. The dried berries and their roots were also crushed into a powder and rubbed into meat for flavor. When settlers from England arrived in the 17th century, many were unable to cultivate the land to grow their own produces, as the land and the climate were far different from what they've left behind. Many early attempts at farming failed. In the winter of 1620, the Wampanoag Indians taught the settlers new skills that helped them survive. They showed them how to plant corn and how to gather and use native plants to supplement their food supply.
One important native crop was blueberries. The colonizers learned from Native Americans how to gather blueberries, dry them under the summer sun, and store them for the winter. Blueberries were also a big part of the Thanksgiving tradition between the two communities. In time, blueberries became an important food source and were preserved and later canned. A beverage made with blueberries also became an important staple for the soldiers involved in the Civil War. In the 1880s, a blueberry canning industry began in northeast USA.
Everyone loves something sweet, but the history of sugar is tainted black, literally. It is a story of slavery and questions the notion of ethical consumption. White gold, as British colonists called it, was the engine of the slave trade that brought millions of Africans to the Americas and Europe in the early 16th century. The history of every nation in the Caribbean, much of South America, and parts of southern United States were forever shaped by sugarcane plantations started as cash crops by European superpowers. Profits from the sugar trade was so significant that it may have even helped America achieve independence from Great Britain. Today, more sugar is produced in Brazil than anywhere else in the world, even though, ironically, the crop never grew wild in the Americas. Sugarcane, native to Southeast Asia, first made its way to the New World with Christopher Columbus during his 1492 voyage to the Dominican Republic, where it grew well in the tropical environment. Noting sugarcane's potential as income for the new settlements in the Americas, Spanish colonizers snipped seeds from Columbus's fields in Dominican Republic and planted them throughout their thriving Caribbean colonies. By the mid-16th century, the Portuguese had brought some to Brazil, and soon after, the sweet cane made its way to British, Dutch, and French colonies such as Barbados and Haiti. It wasn't long, however, before the early settlers realized that they were lacking sufficient manpower to plant, harvest, and process the back-breaking crop. The first slave ships arrived in 1505 and continued unabated for more than 300 years. Most came from Western Africa, where Portuguese colonists had already established trading outposts for ivory, pepper, and other goods. To most of the European merchants, the people they put on cargo ships across the Atlantic, a horrendous voyage known as the Middle Passage, were merely an extension of the trading system already in place. Sugar slavery was a key component in what historians call the trade triangle, a network whereby slaves were sent to work on New World plantations. The product of their labor was sent to a European capital to be sold, and other goods were brought to Africa to purchase more slaves. By the middle of the 19th century, more than 10 million Africans had been forcibly removed to the New World and distributed among the sugar plantations of Brazil and the Caribbean. The marriage between sugar and slavery ended in the late 19th century, but its effect still lingers in the former colonies and the black diaspora.
Throughout time and in every culture, human beings have eaten together. Commensality, eating and drinking at the same table, is a fundamental social activity which creates and cements relationships by drawing boundaries, including or excluding people according to a set of criteria defined by the society. Analyzing commensality offers an insight into this social practice, from the most basic and mundane meals to the grandest of occasions. While different cultures subscribe to differing ways of eating and drinking, commensality as a social and political tool is integral to the formation of personal and national identities. Firstly, we can witness the commensality of the Asian culture, be it Chinese or Indian, as both races are present in the video. Jerrold's mother, as the eldest, signals the start of the meal with her tasting her dishes first. Also, instead of helping herself to the food, she is served by someone younger as a mark of respect. Secondly, as students who are able to cook quickly and easily with cheaper ingredients, this practice automatically excludes those who cannot cook, have no interest to learn how to cook, or those looking for high quality ingredients and fine dining.
In conclusion, through this video, we've shown how cooking shows operate, the etymology of some food terms, and went back in time to discover the cheerful history of blueberries and the dark past of sugar. We've also touched on commensality in the Asian culture. So Ivan, we hope you enjoyed our final project, and remember,
You're not a glutton, you're an explorer of food.